Hey, what is going on? How's it going? Happy Saturday. How's everyone doing today? Man, what an awesome day. Great day today. Weather, a lot of stuff going on. But anyway, how's everyone doing? Happy Saturday. Hope everyone's having a fine Saturday. I'm running a couple of minutes late, so I do apologize. I take care of some stuff, but don't we all? So no more excuses. I'll try to be on time better. Need Techno here to razz me about it. If you're on time, you're late. I think we talked about that before. But man, how is everyone doing? What are you guys working on? I'd like to know. I've got a couple of projects going on right now. Let me turn down this music. But I'm interested in knowing what you're working on. It inspires me to know what you guys are working on. So anyways, let's get caught up on comments. Nolio, how's it going? Included null. Man, lots of nulls. Love it. How are you today? Let me do one thing real quick. Sorry, gotta turn on fans. Surprised, like it's November and like it's warm out. It's like 70 degrees out and I gotta turn on fans in the house. This is so odd. Office fan. There we go. There we go. Should be going. Stark Life, what's up? How's it going? The PC Geek, hey, thought I would say a quick hi. How's it going, PC Geek? Hope you're doing well. Have an extra live today, so I won't be able to stay. Have a good stream. Thank you very much, man. Hope your extra live stream goes well. Definitely check you out later, man. Hopefully it goes well. Hopefully you raise money. Cause yeah, always goes to a good cause. Let's see, Sigor. Hey Tim. Hey, how's it going, Sigor? How are you doing today? Man, I'm doing good. Tom Sawyer. Hey, I am setting up my home lab today. Haha, nice. What are you going with? And what piece are you doing? The hardware piece, the software piece, all of it, all the above? Yes. That's also an acceptable answer. Yeah, how's it going? Tom Sawyer. I think that's my first time seeing your name in here. Yeah, what are you building? What are you working on? Curious to know. Because I'm building one too, but aren't we all? Included null. I feel like I don't have time for my own projects recently, not if I want to also play games online with friends. Sad face. I totally agree. Included null. I totally agree with that sentiment. I think I was saying this last stream, but I realized I have not played games, I think in 2 months, maybe more. And I think the last game I played was Hades, which I really enjoy. But I'm in the same boat. Like, you know, when I start working on all of my server stuff or code or bots or anything, the communities I'm managing, I just don't have time for games, and it kind of stinks. I need to set aside some time for games. I need to I don't know, maybe play games on stream again at some point with someone else, maybe in tech, so that I can have an excuse to play some games and then get that back on my roster. Because man, it stinks. I totally agree. But man, games online with friends are always super fun because it doesn't even matter like if you win or lose or what game you're playing. Sometimes if you're playing with friends, that's all that matters. It's super fun. That's what I've realized growing up playing games and playing games online is that, man, it's a great way to connect with people. Like I never play Fortnite. Nothing against it, just don't play it. But I played Fortnite with my niece and my brother. And it was so awesome just to be able to like hang out and play a game and just follow her around and go wherever she wants to go and let her lead our team. It's super fun. So anyways, included null, I hear you. I'm in the same boat. I'm going to set aside some time for games. I thought it was going to be tonight, but a neighbor wants to hang out. So I might hang out with my neighbor tonight, my wife. So yeah. Anyways, I feel you. I need to work on something. I need to find someone to play at least one night a week. Play some games with somebody. Maybe stream it too, because I think that would be super fun. NCIS Legends. So I did your initial Rancher setup a while ago, and I just realized when I was trying to do the reverse proxy stuff, it kept defaulting ports for Rancher. Is there a way to change them without a full reinstall of the cluster? Really want to get to exposing services parts of your video. That's a tough one. So there is a way, but depending on how much you have set up, I found that the easiest way is to just, I know this stinks, but on a single node non-HA way, when you do that, it actually passes in some extra config also to the servers. And to your Kubernetes clusters. So you can. I think you have to spin up the Docker container, and then I think you go into the Kubernetes cluster and you change the server URL. Might have to dig for it. But if you go into the cluster piece, there's a server URL once you spin up the new container. And I think you can change it there. That might work. And I think GitLab, I think Rancher has some issues open in GitLab that talk about that too. And that's where I think I learned the workaround, as well as some other people in the community have talked about it too in Discord. I think that'll work. I can't guarantee it'll work though. It does kind of stink. But you know, when you do that initial spin up of that Docker container, it does more than just spin up that Docker container. You know, it passes a lot of config to Kubernetes and does some stuff. So, hopefully that helps. Let me know, because I'd like to know the answer. I've never changed mine. When I ran into that and I saw the issues open on GitHub, I was just like, just gonna destroy it and do it again. To make things a little bit quicker though, you could, if you were gonna do that, if you ended up doing that, I think you can export the YAML for your configured services that you already have, and then just reapply them that way too. That's another way to go if you do end up spinning up another one, so you don't have to do all the config again. But NCIS Legend, yeah, let me know. Sigor, cleaning up before we move. LOL, man. Moving is not fun. Moving is not fun. I'm pretty vocal about that. Like I like the idea of moving. I like the idea of going to a new home, and I've done it a couple times in my life. But man, cleaning up before you move is the worst. Like everything leading up to that just takes, I don't know, it just takes so long, and it's like takes way longer than you think. And like on top of that, it's like it's not done until it's 100% done. There's no like kind of moving, you know, there's no partial moving unless you own two homes at the same time and you can slowly move. But yeah, it's not fun. So Sigor, man, that does not sound like fun. Excited for you to move, but not excited for the cleaning part, because yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Well, it's too late for this, but I always recommend dejunking way ahead of time. Whenever you think about you might move, start donating some of the stuff, because especially the stuff you haven't touched in a while or don't want to move, because that's an easy way to pack less and clean less. But yeah. Spaces. Oh, let me get this one right. Spaces 21. Yo, dude. Hey, what's up? How's it going? How are you? I think that looks like a newer name to me too. Newer links, early gents. Spaces, indeed. It's coding night. Nice. What are you going to be coding? What are you going to be writing? What are you building? Interested to know. Front end, back end, what stack, what language, and what are you building? Or is it coding for work? Yeah, let me know. Included null, but I did manage to order an RTX 3090 Founders, which is arriving Monday, and nabbed a 5950X, which is also in transit. So hopefully build your new PC on Monday. Dang, included null. So you got a 3090 and a 5950X, two top tier video cards from two companies right now. Oh my gosh, how did you manage that one? And where did you get them? Like I keep, you know, I'm not like F5ing and refreshing on every page that could possibly have a 3080. It's, you know, that's what I'm going after. But I'm curious where you got them and where you found them. Because every time I check, you know, which is probably every 2 days, they should probably check a little more often than that. Nowhere to be found. And man, pretty lucky. 5950, sorry. Yeah, that's right. The new Ryzen series, sorry. I was thinking APU. My bad. Yeah, because I was thinking in my head too, like, why would you have two of those? But I was like, maybe he's building two PCs. That's right. Dude, you're going to have a crazy system. So brand new PC, 5950 and 3090. Oh my gosh. That's a lot of dough too, man. That's a lot of dough. How much RAM? How much RAM are you putting in that thing? 64, 128? What are you going with? Sigor, yep, cleaning and boxing up. Oof, yeah, not fun. Neuralinks, nice. Why the 3090 though? Yeah, I'm curious too. Why the 3090 over the 3080? It's what, almost twice the cost. I know there's a huge performance boost and some other things that come along with it, but I'm curious too. Spaceys, what do you mean early? It's 10 p.m. here. Oh man, yeah. So man, you were on, so you're 7 hours ahead. You're somewhere really far. Well, hey, at least it's not super late because usually this happens at 7 Central, which would be, I don't know, for you, that would be 2 in the morning. So yeah. Included in all, I don't need a 3090, just wanted one. Isn't that the, yeah, I mean, no one needs a 3090. I mean, I don't know, unless you're I don't know. The other, I don't know, I think I can say no one needs a 3090, but yeah, man, that's a lot of skrill, man. That's a lot of money. Jeez. Man, that would be awesome. Let me know where you got it from, because like I said, I'm having a hard time finding anything as with anyone else. Neuralinks, different time zones. All right, congrats. Yeah. Linux Talks. Enjoying my new Jarvis standing desk. Nice. I've heard of them. I don't know anything about them. Nice. Yeah, I enjoy standing desks too. I'm actually standing right now. I just decided that like I'm just gonna stand during my streams because it's kind of easy. It's easy to do, and it gets helps me with my nerves. If I'm always sitting, I feel like I'm like constricted. And so, yeah, I like to stand too, because I can like move my knees, wiggle my feet, and no one knows. That's awesome though. Jarvis standing desk. I've heard a lot about them. I just converted mine. I just got an IKEA Girton piece of wood and attached some legs to it, and it actually worked out really good. But I'm curious to know about those. How do you like them? Spaceys, greets from the Netherlands. Love your videos. Hey, thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. Well, greetings from the US. Hope you're doing well. Glad you like my videos. Hopefully you're finding something in there that's applicable to what you're interested in. But if you found them, most likely you are. So I appreciate it. Neuralinks still on Terraform and Unify. So that's what you're working on. Ah, interesting. So Terraform and Unify, what are you moving to? Yeah, what are you moving to? I assume you're thinking of moving to virtualization and containers. Unless you're doing Terraform stuff with Proxmox, but I don't know. I think that would be, I don't know. Maybe you could spin up the actual machine. Maybe not. Yeah, you probably could. The virtual machines. Well, you'd have to use Proxmox API, which I've seen Ansible does. Anyways, that's an aside for another day. And Unify. So still on Unify. So are you thinking of moving, thinking of doing something else? Yeah, curious. Sigor, yeah. Neuralinks, slowly importing everything in. Nice, yeah. Sounds like a good project. Dale Kurt, hey, hello, how's it going? How you been? It's Sakash. Hey, how are you? Looks like a newer name. How are you? How's it going? Included Null, I need to clean up my home rack cables management. I might do it tomorrow. I need to reroute a fiber run. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, never fun to run cables, I don't think, unless you have a big wide open space and you can do it. But rerunning or rerouting does not sound fun because that means redoing some work. And oh my gosh, that's it's hard enough work as it is, at least for me. I gotta climb in the attic and do all kinds of crazy stuff and route around a pipe that I can never get around. And I've done it 2-3 times now, and I'm just like, I'm never doing it again. It's so hard, at least in my house, because to get from the attic all the way down to the basement, there's like one little hole you can shoot through. And on top of that, that hole then has a pipe going through it. So then there's one corner of the pipe. It's like square hole, round peg. And then so in that round peg, I have like a little corner I can go through with my cables. And I've done it 3 times and I don't think I can fit any more. But man, sounds like an awesome upgrade once it's done for sure. Ilud, hey, how's it going? How you doing, man? Good to see you. Yeah, Dale Kurt, I was curious about the same thing. What are you working on with the Terraform plus Unify? Curious. It's a cache. Question, does anyone know how to start iOS app making? Yeah, I've done it. I've done it a couple times. First thing, you'll need a Mac. You'll need an expensive dongle called a Macintosh. That's the first thing. And so once you have a Mac, I mean, you can open up Xcode. And then once you open up Xcode, you can file new project. And so I assume you mean tutorials or things to help you out, along the way to do that. There's tons of documentation online and tons of videos on YouTube for that. Even Apple themselves have pretty good documentation. And then with Xcode, you're going to have to decide if you're going to want to write Swift, which you probably do, or Objective-C, which you probably don't. And just build your app. I would recommend just pulling down Xcode and just running the default, starter app that Xcode can give you when you say a new project. I think they have some templates to choose from. But then you're going to have to learn how to write Swift. And so I've done a little bit of Swift, a little bit of Objective-C, but most of the time I've been using things like React Native, or I played around with Flutter. Like those two cross-platform, I guess, frameworks can help you write apps really fast and be cross-platform. So might be something you want to look into, especially if you already know possibly JavaScript, or you already know Dart, which I don't think anyone does for Flutter. You could look at something like that and do something cross-platform. And then you get it on Android and iOS. So it's kind of nice. That's the route I've gone. I've even done Cordova, and I've also done, what was the spinoff of Cordova? I don't remember. PhoneGab had their thing. Then Cordova was the open source version. And then after that was, Ionic, which used Angular. So yeah. There are a lot of tools out there if you don't want to write native code for the platform. But if you do, there's plenty of information out there too. But it's a cache, yeah. Let me know if that's what you're thinking, or what type of app you were thinking about building. Silu, hey, been watching your videos for the last 4 days. Hey, thank you, appreciate it. Hopefully they're not too boring. They're kind of dry. I don't know. It's funny. I was just talking to my neighbor because, I have a neighbor and we talk sometimes. And I was just telling him, how difficult it is to talk to a camera. And I think that's part of the reason why I don't look directly in the camera right now during Twitch, is because there's just something about just having this camera that is zero feedback and kind of seeing yourself in a preview that's kind of odd. So anyways, I hope you enjoy them. And if you do, don't forget, comment and like, because that super helps out the algorithm. But anyways, hopefully you find something in there you like. 4 days is a lot of watching. But let me know, feedback. I'm open to feedback, open to criticism, open to ideas. Let me know. Either in the comments or here is totally fine, for sure. Included null, my internet is being upgraded to 1,000 down, 50 up next week. I wish my ISP could offer faster uploads too. I don't understand why they separate the two. Why they, I mean, I kind of get it, but I don't. Because it's kind of silly. People capping, or ISPs capping your upload just stinks of like file sharing stuff back in the day. It's like they would just cap it. That was their way of mitigating it. It's just saying, well, we're just going to make it really slow for you. But you see how that turned out. It doesn't really stop people from doing that thing. So I'm always curious, like, why they cap your upload, especially now when like people are doing video conferencing and streaming stuff right now, like why they cap the upload. Anyways, totally beyond me. Anyways, 1,000 down seems awesome. So gigabit down, awesome, congratulations. The 50 up, not so much. I'm kidding. That's still pretty good. I mean, it's still pretty good. I mean, even the stream right here, encoded and sent up, I think I'm using 5 or 6, 7 megabits per second upload. So it's good for that kind of stuff. It's good for Zoom and all that. What it won't be good for is if you need to back up a ton of data, like if you run a backup job and upload it like I do, sometimes, when I shoot something, film, I end up with 50, 60 gigs of stuff. And so, hey, there's a follow right there. Hey, thanks, Spaceys, thanks so much for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. And so for me, like some nights 50, 60 gigs of data gets sent up. And so that would take a really long time on 50 megabit. It might finish before I wake up, but yeah, that's pretty slow. But the down is awesome. So congratulations. Neuralink's managing unifying networking with Terraform. Okay, it's pretty awesome. Last piece, I need to manage my entire infrastructure as code. That is awesome. I think I remember you mentioning that possibly in Discord. That's awesome. Yeah. Oh yeah, you posted it too, and you shared it in our community projects. Yeah, that looks super awesome. I'm super interested in that because, you know, right now mine is definitely not code. Mine is managed as UI, and I get backups. You know, but it'd be awesome to just tear the whole thing down and redeploy it, basically all over again, just totally bare bones. It'd be awesome. You have to let me know how that goes. Let's see here. Yeah, ISP, Virgin Media. Boo. I don't know much about them, but capping uploads just seems so old school. Neuralink's Terraform for network, Ansible for Proxmox and self-storage, Helm for Kubernetes. All right. That is you totally have infrastructure as code now too, for sure. And I was talking about Ansible for Proxmox because I was looking into it. Looks pretty awesome. Looks pretty interesting. I think their cookbook, I think they're called, looks awesome. I mean, they have all the attributes there that I care about. I have to figure out how to parameterize some of that stuff. But I haven't done enough Ansible. I've been digging into it. It's super interesting, especially for the repetitive things I do, or the things I just want to repeat. You know, and that's the whole point of infrastructure and code in general, even coding in general, is just the things you want to repeat, and the things you want to do predictably. Daleker, do you have a repository? Yeah, he does. He does. And it was, I think he posted it in our community projects Discord channel, where people share things that they're working on that are you know, maybe open, closed source, whatever, that are public. I should say that. But yeah, I think so. Phantomway just was watching the Nextcloud video. Hey, thank you. Yeah, I've been using Nextcloud for a while, and this was one that people had asked for, and I've just always kind of been putting it on the back burner. And I thought, well, now's the good time because I'm working on something really big right now, and so I needed to get this a couple more in between the big thing I'm working on. But yeah, hope you like it. Tom Sawyer, now I'm ready for the software part. I'm ready to set up Proxmox plus pfSense plus TrueNAS. Now I'm setting up Debian VBN. What is that? Debian VM. My plan is to Dockerize Nextcloud, Bitwarden, and other self-hosted apps. Sounds awesome. Sounds right up my alley. Sounds like you're gonna have an awesome, an awesome stack of services too. Bitwarden too. Yeah, that's something I haven't dabbled in too much. Totally aware of what it is and what it does. But yeah, totally. But yeah, sounds awesome. So which one are you going to start with first? I assume pfSense? Yeah, maybe pfSense. Well, I mean, you need Proxmox, but then I think it's going to be pfSense and TrueNAS. I think so. Spacies, by the way, Rancher 2.5 out as well. You need to run. Yeah, for sure. Yep. It's been out for a couple weeks now. Thank you, Spacies. I mean, that obviously wasn't out when I created my video, but I updated my documentation, and that's something that I try to do is go back to my documentation that I have in GitHub and for my videos and update them so that even if you're following something, you know, that hasn't been out or that might seem a little bit older, I'll always update my documentation. Unless it's like, hey, Rancher 3 is out, I'm not going to go back and update my 2 documentation for 3. But yeah, for sure. It's out. You do have to run it with a privilege flag. There are a couple more gotchas in there. I know that people have been struggling sometimes because Rancher creates the local cluster for you. And so people think like, sweet, I'll use the local cluster. Don't use the local cluster. Act like it doesn't exist because that cluster is for Rancher only. So just basically pretend that local cluster does not exist. And which still applies to my video because I never mention a local cluster and I say create a cluster. So the video still applies. But yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for that, Spacies. Yeah, it's I'm surprised they changed so much. I know it doesn't warrant a 3.0, so a major release. But at the same time, a 2.5 didn't sound like, you know, when you go from 2.8, 2.4.8 to 2.5, and then you add this privilege flag and you change how everything works, Almost sounds like a breaking change to me. But anyways, I'm not here to manage their conventional commits and their their version and their releases, and how they version stuff. But it did seem like a little bit bigger than that. Senpai Carter, happy Saturday. Tim and Chad, hey, happy Saturday to you too. Yeah, it's a good Saturday. Sigor, true, but it's our first house, so it's really exciting. Hey, yeah, for sure. Plus now I get to do a home networking before I set up my home lab. Awesome, yeah. Yeah, I don't mean to be such a downer on moving, because that's exciting, especially if it's your first house. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome too. And you've been donating. Yeah, that's what that's my only advice I give to anyone who's ever thinking of moving is dejunk and donate early and often. I think we dejunk and donate, I think, every 3-4 months. And it's actually pretty liberating to just get rid of stuff you don't use anymore. You're just like, wow, haven't touched this thing in 6 months, a year. I'm going to get rid of it. Maybe someone else will get some use out of it too. So yeah, we do a lot. It's super nice. Super nice. The real lithics. Yeah. 5959 GPU. Sorry. My bad. Spaceys, coding some new Home Assistant automations. Just YAML. Awesome. Yeah, YAML. Ooh. I'm okay at YAML. It's just YAML doesn't like me sometimes because of white space or tabs, but that's awesome. What automations are you going to actually be doing? Sounds super fun. The Realithics runs 8 gig. Yeah. 64 gigs and the X570 motherboard included. Oh man, you are going all out on your next system build. This sounds so awesome. The Realithics been seeing a lot of new builds with those specs and 16 gigs. Like, dude, what are you doing? Yeah, I agree. Like, if you're gonna go all out and build and then put 16 gigs RAM, it's kind of like, those slots, especially if you only have 4 slots, like you're gonna only end up then with 32 gigs, and it's like, no way. Like, I've had 32 gigs in this machine for 3 years, and my next machine is minimum 64. And I'll probably leave a couple of slots open. But, the higher density RAM seems to cost a lot more. But I want to leave that real estate for more DIMMs in the future. Linux Tux, is it worth it to use ECC RAM in a home lab environment? It depends on what you're doing. I'm going to be completely honest. I do it now because because I have a lot of virtual machines, and because I want error correcting if something goes wrong. And I mean, it's just whatever you're comfortable with. I mean, purists are going to say, yeah, absolutely. If you're doing anything for data, or if you care about your data, or all of this, but then arguably you could say, well, my PC does the same kind of thing all day long, and I have zero problems with that you know of. So it's kind of going to be up to you. If it's a home lab test environment and you're just getting started out, I'll be perfectly honest. I would say put your money elsewhere, especially if it's an older machine that you've been using and you're just going to now allocate that to something for testing. I mean, truly for what home labs are used for is building out, test environments and testing stuff out and learning. I would say put your money somewhere else. It's like I said, especially if it's a machine that you've allocated to it, that you've already owned. But if you're going out and building one that is going to be in use, in production use in your home, if you're going to be possibly virtualizing stuff like, I don't know, pfSense, TrueNAS or anything like that, I think it's a pretty decent investment. But like anything, it's just whatever you're comfortable with, and so, yeah, I agree. ZFS for sure. Pretty important. And that's why I specifically called out TrueNAS. Because other than that, it's kind of like, I do now in my servers, but I ran virtualized. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I probably 10 years, I've run, servers and services, not ZFS, on desktop class. Commodity hardware, zero problems that I know about. I mean, maybe a few random reboots or things could have been, because of that. But yeah, and so, if you if you want to do truly like enterprise stuff at home, I think it's a good choice. And if you're going to do things like ZFS, which is why I called out TrueNAS, yeah, it's definitely a good choice for sure. So, but I don't want that to be a barrier for entry or a barrier to entry for someone who's just getting started, especially if you're using your old PC for your next server. I mean, I wouldn't say go out and buy all ECC RAM and scrap what you have, because that seems kind of like overkill. But again, if you're doing something that uses ZFS like TrueNAS, yeah, you might want to, for sure. But yeah, good question. It's expensive. I'm not gonna lie, it's expensive. But I just bought a ton. I just bought 256 gigs of ECC, or registered ECC RAM, 32 gig DIMMs. 8? It's not cheap. Not cheap. And the higher density you get, the more expensive it is, like all of it right now. So yeah, it's not cheap. It's gonna cost money, real money. And at the same time, even desktop, non-registered RAM, it's pretty expensive now too. And I honestly think my ECC RAM ended up being cheaper, at least the density I got, than desktop stuff. So, but yeah, good question. And greetings from Germany. Hey, greetings from the US. Hope you're doing okay. Senpai Carter, Windows can't even idle anymore with just 8 gigs. Yeah, Windows uses a ton of RAM, for sure. For sure. And yeah, once you boot it up, you're already using 4 or 5 or something like that. You let it run for 10 minutes and by then, you're using 8 for sure, and it's already paging or swapping. Jarvis from Fully is really great. I got to check it out, Dale. I got to check it out from the next desk for sure. Included Null, I was in the Discord with a stock alert bot. I'm in the UK. Wait, I was in the Discord with a stock alert bot. I placed 2 orders, for the 5950X, one with scan, which turned into a pre-order, and one with direct AMD, and it shipped. Yeah, that's awesome. So you're spilling the beans on how you're tracking these products. Yeah, I'm super interested because I want a 3080. I'm not gonna lie. I want a 3080 for sure. I just haven't. I haven't pulled the trigger. Well, 1, I haven't found it, and 2, I haven't pulled the trigger on it. Mainly because I can't find it, and 2, because I'm probably gonna build a whole entire new system when I get a 3080. Like, this system is treating me well for 3 years. I mean, I do so much on it. Everything you see of me anywhere on social has been done on this PC, and it's treated me really well. And when I built it 3 years ago, I thought, man, this is gonna last forever, because that was my first upgrade in a really, really long time. Like, it seems like PC builds at least a couple of years ago for streaming could last a really long time. Now with streaming and gaming has always driven upgrades since the beginning of PCs. It's like new video card, new RAM, new video card, new RAM, new CPU. But I feel like that kind of slowed down until now, at least for me with streaming and content creation, it's like, okay, now I need something, my requirements have changed. And so now my builds have changed too. So I still have to decide on which CPU platform, and which CPU, and then which video card. I think I kind of made it up in my mind, and I know AMD is doing really awesome stuff right now with their GPUs, but I really need the NVENC encoder, and CUDA possibly. So anyways, yeah, Dale Kurt, I have one in my home office. Nice. Yeah, I've heard of them, haven't seen them. I have to refresh my memory on what they look like. Included Null, I'm canceling my scan pre-order when I have the other in hand. You're totally squatting on them. I get it though. Yeah, you gotta wait. You have to wait. Yeah. I mean, the same thing happened with Nintendo Switch and all that stuff when it comes out, People order from multiple places, and then, you can cancel your pre-order or even return the thing you got, and you just wait until you get it in hand. For sure. I don't blame you. Hey, Mysterious Cheese 7, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. How you doing? Let's see here. Neuralinks, if you have purchased a second-in-hand enterprise server, yeah. Wait, what? Oh, I skipped one. I agree with you. They're really great. Neuralinks, if you have purchased a second-hand enterprise server, yeah. Most enterprise servers only run ECC. Yeah, good call. That's totally a good call. And if you're getting a second-hand one, most of the time they're DDR3 I mean, depending on how, how new you're going to get. And that stuff's a lot cheaper to get your hands on, for sure. Yeah, good call. Silu, pretty impressive. How is he reading every message and talking like that for about, wait, pretty impressive. How is he reading every message and talking about that for like a minute? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm slowly figuring it out. But Silu, hey, looks like a newer name. Welcome. I try to read comments. People have things to say, and I've been on. I don't know. If people have things they want to talk about, I'll talk about them. Let's talk about them. If they don't, hey, there are people who do. But yeah, it's the hardest piece. It's not so much reading and commenting. It's the keeping track of threads. I think I've rewired my brain a little bit because like I have like now 20, 30 asynchronous threads going on in my head of what the person said last and what they're referring to. But most people add a little context. So I'm like, okay, yeah, GPU, okay, APU, okay, I was wrong there. Oh, okay, gotcha. So I feel it was hard to do at first, but I'm figuring it out. Neuralinks, in regards to Terraforma, I always say Terraforma. I don't know why. Because I think my neighbor used to say it. Anyways, in regards to Terraform earlier, it's the code in community projects. Yep, it's managed unified with networks and Terraform as infrastructure as code. Yeah, for sure. I saw it, man. I even went to your GitHub repo. I think I started. Yeah, looks super interesting. I'm super interested because like I said, right now, with my Unify network, it backs it up and it keeps it somewhere. But I would like to totally destroy my whole entire network and just basically wipe it out and re-implement it or redeploy it with code. Sounds super interesting for sure. Linux Tux, mine is a self-build and be quiet case. Nice. I'm not sure if it really needs or a little bit overkill. Nice. I'll have to check those out too. Spaceys, if you know front-end stuff, please look at React Native. It's so awesome. Spaceys, yeah, I was just talking about React Native. I totally agree. I think React Native is so awesome. And then you get 2 for 1 if you do React Native. Or if you do React in general, you get 2 for 1. You get all of web, and then you get all of mobile. And it's like, okay, this is awesome. I totally agree. I mean, there's there are some nuances in there and a little bit different. It's like, in web, you have divs. You don't have divs on mobile, you have views. But if you just forget divs and views, everything else is really similar. So I totally agree. Neuralinks, yeah, stick with non-ECC RAM. You don't need it as long as you don't mind the reboot the server once in a while. Yeah. If you really need ECC, yeah. Hey, the first time, so Thomas, hey, how's it going? Thomas88, hey, it's the first time for me tuning into the stream. By the way, your last video, I've noticed when you set up Nextcloud, how's come you are not using hardware-based TOTP like YubiKey? Thomas, good question. One, because I don't own a YubiKey. I have to own it first. And someone else was talking about YubiKeys in Discord too. I think they're a great idea. I think they're overpriced. Paying $45 for one little thing seems kind of pricey. But then you could argue, well, what's the price on security? But I like Authy. I use Authy a lot, which is based on the Google Authenticator's algorithm. And I have, I'm not joking. I won't show you, but I have at least 30, 40 accounts managed with Authy. And I chose Authy early on because the Google Authenticator didn't back them up and encrypt them or anything like that. And I actually moved from an Android phone once and lost all that stuff. So anyways, that's why I moved to Authy. But I enjoy Authy. It's awesome. It encrypts it, backs them up for me. And it's been rock solid. So I'm a huge fan of Authy. But YubiKey, I would have to go purchase one first. And then 2, hope every service I use also supports YubiKey. And then 3, they I don't know, $45 for that little key just seems like kind of gouging. I mean, I get it. The technology that they're using probably isn't new. It's just the medium that they're using now is new. I bet the technology has been around for a long time. They're just now doing it on a USB key or USB-C. or RF chip. So I don't know. I don't know. So anyways, don't mean to be a downer on it. I know very little about it. I read their website for about a whole 45 seconds, maybe 90 seconds this morning. But the first thing that stuck out to me is, really? $45 for this piece of plastic? Anyways. Either way, I think the important takeaway from that video was do two-factor auth, right? If you want to use YubiKey, absolutely go for it. If you want to use another, two-factor one-time password thing like Authy, Google Authenticator, absolutely. Yeah, go for it. I think the takeaway is just do something else too, for sure. And sorry, I don't mean to be downer in YubiKey. I've just had sticker shock big time. I'm thinking those things probably cost like, 45 cents to make. Anyways, but yeah, I'm sure they're great though. Senpai Carter, you could always put a face on the camera so it makes it more personal. Would that be cringy? Huh? Let's see. I don't know. That would be kind of weird. I could though, but I think it's a mental thing. I think it's a mental thing where I have to just, bring this energy that I have here in Twitch to my YouTube videos. But it's a little bit different because I don't have scrolling chat. I don't have names I recognize or asking questions or trolling me. So it's a little bit different. But I could put some fake chat in there. That'd be super fun. Sigor, Thomas, is your name Drums? Is your name Drums related by chance? Drum. Silu, that would creep the hell out of me. Yeah, well, it kind of would me too. Unless it was a face I recognized. But even that, it would be kind of odd. I'll try it one time. Be weird. Be real weird. It's okay. I enjoy the weird and the odd. Spacies, what do you guys recommend for a new $500 server, excluding hard disk, usage for Proxmox, and some Docker containers? Yeah, that's a great question. I don't think I have an answer to that yet. And $500 is a tough one. I mean, that's pretty budget. But that's totally fine. Anything Ryzen, you're going to do great with. And most of the Ryzen platforms also support ECC if you want to go ECC too. And we were just talking about ECC. Whether or not you want to is going to be up to you. But that's definitely a differentiator that I see that you get with a Ryzen processor, is that they're like, okay, you can run, some boards, check it, you can run registered and non-registered RAM. And so, yeah, but I would definitely do, I don't know, if I had a hard $500 budget, I would definitely check out Ryzen 5, Ryzen 7, something like that, especially with new CPUs coming out. You might find some great deals. Especially with, Black Friday, you might find some great deals. There was also some great deals during Prime Day, which led me down this path of figuring out what my next server build is going to be, which I'll have more to share here soon. But yeah, great question. Man, I'm curious to know what you'd settle on for sure. Thomas, it's Thomas in a different language. Yeah, is it so Thomas with an A? What language is it in? I think in German, isn't it Thomas, like Tomas? But I don't know what Thomas is with a TA. Yeah, I'm curious to know. Thomas, Unraid, Proxmox, yeah. Sigor, I have Tama drum set in the basement. Thought it might be like that. Yeah. Phantom Way, I have gigabit symmetrical. Yeah, nice. I have that option. I don't pay for it though. I have 300 up and down, which for me is plenty. It's plenty. But I have that option too. I don't want to pay the extra $20. I thought about doing it for like 1 month just to flex and be like, yeah, gigabit up and down. But I just haven't done it. But that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Takano, 60 up, 60 down, 5 up. Oh man, what's up, Takano? How you doing, man? 60 up, 5 down. Yeah, here we go again with people having, asymmetrical, I guess I should say, uploads and downloads. Man, ISPs, come on. Sigor, hey, Takano, and then Enye. I don't know what the Enye is on there. But hey, Ilud, with fiber, there is no reason other than dollars to cap the upstream. Yeah, original cable modems couldn't do symmetric. Yeah, all right. Yeah, Yeah, especially with fiber, for sure. Linux Tux, 80 up, 30 down for me. It's pretty good. Thomas, yeah, the same. 1,000 in London is really rare these days. Wow, that's interesting. Deddy, I have a weird question. Sorry, I got a cough. Victor CS Brito. Hey, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Sorry, one more drink. Sorry, I'm like, throat's getting dry, and then I'm banging my drink into the microphone. Oh man, here we go. I have a weird question. Do you know if capture cards like Elgato's can be used inside VMs? Hey, that's not a weird question. I thought we were gonna go somewhere really weird. Dady? I'll go with Dady. No, I'll go with Dady. No, I like Dady. D-E-T-Y, Dady. I'm going with Dady. So can it be used inside of a virtual machine? Yeah, I don't see why not. If you can pass through hardware to your virtual machine, yeah. So if your CPU, your motherboard, and the OS all support IOMMU, and you have that feature, yeah, you can do it for sure. I don't see any reason why not. You might, the only thing is like I would just caution is that some of the audio and video timings might get a little bit weird. There is a way to correct them, and you don't want to do it in software, at least software in say if you're using OBS, that's like a last resort. You might have to find like the device timings setting, either in the registry or something like that, or it might not be a problem at all. So it might not be a problem at all, and it might work flawlessly. If you do start to see audio or video drift, you might have to adjust some timings. If you do that, there are some places you can do it in the registry to tell it to use a different timing. And then if all else fails, you can do it in OBS. But yeah, I don't see any problem with that at all. If I can run a video card in a VM, yeah, I don't see any problem with running an Elgato capture card in there too. It sounds interesting. Sounds like you got an interesting project going on for sure. Linux Tux, sorry, 80 down, 30 up, LOL. No, that's totally fine. Scobit, hey, thanks for the follow, appreciate it, welcome. iLoot, it has to do with the lower frequency noise floor. Okay, so that's why some don't support symmetric, or at least older cable modems didn't back in the day. Sigor, if they are USB, you should be able to pass them through. There you go too. Oh, sorry, I meant PCIe. All right, I covered the PCIe part. So, and then Sigor got you on the USB part. So yeah, either way, I say go for it, for sure. Sigor, oops, LOL, you should be able to pass that through too. Yeah, we are on it. We got this covered. Thanks, guys. Takano, thanks for posting the LED strips in your story that are on sale. They look pretty good. Yeah, I saw that too. Need to check some out. I need some LED strips for my servers, but coming. I want to do it tastefully, but I need to figure it out. I don't know. I'm at some point for my server rack, I'm gonna do some remodeling, renovating. I don't know. I got some stuff coming. Lights will be one of them. I just haven't figured out a good light source for them yet, or LED strips. Maybe that will be. No, I think it was that Takano? I thought it was Holy Mark. Yeah, could have been. What's Debian? Oh, no. So, Marco Dev. Hey, how's it going? Looks like a newer name. No, I think I said, so I know what Debian is. I said, anyways, I mispronounced something. I said VM Debian. I was combining Deb and virtual machine together, but yeah, thank you. Silu, the hard thing is to get your girlfriend or wife to use Nextcloud. Otherwise, I don't see why I should spin hard drives 24/7 at home for me alone. Yeah. Yeah, good call. For me, it's not about I'm gonna spin up this one thing in my infrastructure just to do it. For me, I already have servers running 24/7. So adding, an incremental workload like Nextcloud is no problem, especially in Docker Kubernetes. super easy. And so I agree. Like, yeah, if you have 0 servers or 0 machines running 24/7, Nextcloud probably isn't going to be the thing that makes you run something 24/7. But once you have something that you want to run 24/7, and it is possibly containerized or virtualized or whatever, adding this incremental load to it is a pretty good idea, I think. But yeah, I totally agree. Like, it's not, think of it like the killer app. What's the killer app that's going to make you run something in your home 24/7? Then after that, then the floodgates open and you're like, oh yeah, well, I can do this too. And I can run this and I can run this. And before you know it, you have a server rack in your house. Vital Bader, hey Techno, I'm struggling with passing my GPU through to my Windows 10 VM. My shoe's untied. I assume it has something to do with OVMF BIOS, but not sure. Do you have any recommendations? Because I followed your tutorial clip by clip. Hey Vital Bader, sorry I just got your comment. My recommendation is that I have documentation backing that actual video where I give example, or not even example, I give you my same exact config for my virtual machine, as well as the steps I run that I copy and paste when I spin up new Proxmox servers that also need to pass through GPUs. So I'd recommend checking that out. And the stuff in there is totally copy pasta from my own process. Check that out, and I think it has something to do with the machine type too. But there's also one part in the video that I kind of gloss over and I make it seem like it's easier to do, and it is switching from BIOS to UEFI. That's not as easy as I make it seem in that video. So have you tried spinning up another virtual machine with UEFI? Yeah, let me know. But the key takeaway there is that I do have a documentation, and you should be able to copy and paste most of that there for sure. Spret allow. Hi, is there open source website like Bulbapedia? How can I download all content storage from the server? Hey, Spret allow. Looks like a newer name. Welcome. I'm not familiar with Bulbapedia, so I'm not sure. Is that a CMS system? Is it a wiki system, which I guess arguably is still a CMS? Yeah, tell me more about this Bulbapedia and what you're looking for, because then maybe I can recommend open source self-hosted alternatives to that. I'm not familiar with that product, but rather than tell me the solution, tell me the problem that you're trying to solve, and maybe we can come up with a solution together. Because right now you're looking for the solution, which is something like Bulbapedia. So let me know. Maybe we can come up with some ideas, or maybe people in chat can help come up with some ideas on alternatives for what you're trying to do. Is it wiki? Is it traditional CMS? Is it blogging? Is it photo library? Let me know. Chicano on Discord, Sigor, LOL, similar names. Sigor, I remembered the post in Discord, but I knew it wasn't me, LOL. Yeah, very close. Chicano, he posted in Sweet Setups and its Insta link, took a look and he posted them in his Insta story. Nice. Sailu, wait, so you can actually use the local cluster in Rancher, or is there any difference between the one you create in the Techno 10 video? No, I was saying don't use the local cluster in Rancher. Pretend that thing doesn't exist, because I think that's Rancher's very own cluster to run, and it's part of the new, I guess, architecture that they're doing. And they talk about this a little bit. They kind of hint at it too. They're like, well, if you're going to run, Rancher in your own Kubernetes cluster or in K3s or RKey or anything like that, set aside a cluster dedicated just to Rancher. And I think that's what they're doing now in 2.5. And they don't mention really what you should and shouldn't do with it. I act like it doesn't exist and follow my original video where it says, hey, create a new cluster. Okay, and now we're gonna actually add workloads to this newly created cluster. So yeah, pretend it doesn't exist. I know a lot of people get hung up on that piece and they start to add workloads to the local cluster, but in my video, I never say like, hey, there should be a cluster there and then start using that. I say, create a new one and let's add workloads to that. So yeah, anyways. Ilude, got to roll. Got to see the at the in-laws, heading home. See everyone in Discord. Hey, Ilude, hey, thanks for stopping in, man. Really appreciate it. Vermium, Seifel, hey, how's it going? Looks like a newer name. How are you on this fine Saturday? Sigor, my daily driver is a Dell T7500 that was on eBay and came with 72 gigs of RAM. Nice. The tax manager can barely gets up off the floor. LOL. Yeah, nice. Hey, Silu. Hey, Silu. Thanks for the sub. Appreciate it so much. Got lights going. Forgot those are even working. Thank you so much for the Prime sub. Really appreciate it. Silu, thank you so much. Tomas, ZFS for ECC is kind of important too. Totally agree. What sort of problem? Can you be more specific? Oh, you guys are figuring something out. I love it. Tomas, I managed to get some engineering samples. Intel Xeon Gold 6232 1428 core 2 CPUs, but 2.93 gigahertz ECC. ECC is really, really expensive. Yeah, I'm right there with you too. And I just landed a couple of 14/28 core 2 CPUs as well. And yeah, and it's the server I'm building now didn't force me to, but it helped me, I don't know if it's a good thing, land on a platform that I can use DDR4. It's kind of expensive. Not kind of, really expensive, especially when you get in high density DIMMs, but yeah. Thank you for sharing the Discord link, you guys. You guys are awesome. Tomas, 64 gig is at least $500 to $600 US. Yeah. I was able to score some 32 gig DIMMs for around $100, which I thought was, I mean, all things considered, reasonable. And I know you can get 16s for a lot cheaper, but I ended up going with 32s, and then I bought 8 of them. So you could multiply that out, and now you know what I paid for RAM alone, which is always what I've been saying for a long time. It's like, when people start to build servers, it's always the RAM that's going to kill you. People choose processors first, and boards and cases and whatever, racks and how many but think of the RAM up front. And that's why buying used is still very appealing, because you can get, whatever, 710, 720 stacked with, near 200 gigs of RAM for about what you'd pay for just the RAM anywhere else. So yeah, it's crazy. So if you're ever thinking about building something, look at RAM prices before you do the speccing out your whole entire machine. But yeah, great advice, guys, for sure. Vital Baiter, I'll be posting in the hypervisor chat in a minute. Thank you so much. Yes, absolutely. Hey, you got a couple follows in there. MK Lam, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. And then Dr. Dynamite. I love it. Dynamite. That's Dynamite. I love it. Hey, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. Thank you so much. Talias, is there a reason to choose RKE instead of K3S on a low cost cluster? Good question. Because I'll be honest, I struggle with this question too. So if you're not familiar with RKE or K3S, so RKE is a certified distribution of Kubernetes built by Rancher. K3S is also a lightweight certified distribution of Kubernetes built by Rancher. RKE is the full-blown Kubernetes with exactly like Kubernetes you would get from a cloud provider or anywhere else. K3S, on the other hand, is a modern, stripped-down version of K3S that has a lot of subtle differences, some more important than others. I think so that's a great question. It's up to you. K3S is going to definitely use a lot less resources, for sure. Absolutely. That's what they designed to do. And I listened to this, I think it was like a 45-minute, I don't know, it seemed like a conference call, but a video they had on YouTube, which kind of seemed like a conference call. They need to work on their content. Anyways, talking about K3S and why they did it. The interesting thing about that, though, is that they actually, I think, deleted more code than they wrote. I think they were saying like they deleted 3 million lines of code when they were building K3S because they stripped out all the stuff that people won't use. like things that are, storage providers that people won't ever use, or that won't choose. How about that? Or that may choose, or that they can choose later. Deleted a lot of code related to cloud specific implementations that wouldn't apply to someone spinning up K3s on their own machine. So if you're running a low cost cluster that is resource constraint, or you just want to use less resources, or you want to run these on a Raspberry Pi or something like that, K3s is definitely the way to go. And going back to what I was saying, that I struggle with that too, is because I'm kind of making that decision right now too. Would it be cool to run full-blown Kubernetes, real Kates? Yeah, it kind of would be. But at the same time, do I want to take on all those resource requirements and all of that additional, I guess, load, just to say I am, where K3s would give me the same API to where I wouldn't notice the difference. So anyways, long story short, if you're on a low-cost cluster, absolutely go K3s. That's moral of the story. You were probably like, dude, you could have said that in like 10 seconds. But I had to lay some groundwork for some things that are coming up soon. Anyways, and hints. But yeah, great question. Yeah, I think low cost, absolutely. K3 for sure. K3s. Mysterious Cheese 7. Hey, how's it going? I'm trying to finally set up my home lab and having a hard time wrapping my mind around the practical uses of VLANs. Hey, I'm right there with you. I just went through this. I understand what they're for, but having a hard time applying those to my needs. Yeah, great question. So Mysterious Cheese. So I'm going to defer this one, kind of, sort of. So I'll talk about how I use mine. One, I have a management network VLAN that is only network hardware. That's it. Next, I have a VLAN that is my trusted main network. It is where I have devices that I 100% trust. My MacBook, my Windows machine, my iPad. Then I have a VLAN or a network for things I don't trust, IoT things. And and I apply specific rules to them. On my IoT network, those devices can only communicate with the internet. I have some firewall rules in there though that allows me from my trusted network to contact some of those IoT devices only because I need a direct connection. But it's one way, so it's inbound, not outbound. Then I have another network that's for my trusted servers. So mine's pretty elaborate, where there are servers that I absolutely trust that provide core services to my network internally, but nothing externally. And then I have another one that's just dedicated only to servers untrusted. And it's not that I don't trust the servers, it's that I don't trust the workloads that are running on the servers. And you're probably like, what does that mean? Well, I trust all the code I write. Well, most of the time. Anyways, I write a lot of custom code and I have some APIs and I have some services that are public facing. And those workloads run on my untrusted server VLAN. So that if something were to happen to where they could break out of the container, to where that system gets compromised, they're not going to do anything more than what they could do on that VLAN already, which is a whole bunch of servers I don't trust anyways that can't communicate with anything anyways. Then I have one more, which is my camera VLAN. And my camera VLAN, or my network, is a network that is for all of my IP cameras where they exist, but they cannot access the internet. They cannot get out to the internet. They can only contact my Blue Iris server, and they can't contact them. Actually, my Blue Iris server reaches out to them because it's a poll for that data. And those devices on top of that are isolated. So it's the most secure network I have. Can't communicate with the internet, can't communicate with any other thing or any other network, and can't even communicate with other devices on that network. And so that's how I have mine set up. So if you're having a hard time applying it to your needs, I was talking about the deferral in the beginning, This is where I'm going to recommend It's My Natural Colors YouTube video. It's My Natural Color has a 3-part series on redoing his network. And when he redoes his network, spoiler alert, in part 3, you want to see that one, he talks about setting up his VLANs and what the use cases are for those VLANs and how they're applied. His needs are simpler than mine, but not simpler than most people's. You know, most people have devices they trust, devices they don't trust, cameras, and IoT devices. And so he walks through setting those up for those VLANs. So I would highly recommend at some point, just Google It's My Natural Color. You'll find his channel, find his huge network upgrade, part 3, click watch later or watch now, doesn't matter, because it's a great video. And so it's a long video, but it's a great video because he goes into great detail and he explains things in layman's terms, which I really appreciate too. Because yeah, I was kind of in the same boat a couple weeks ago. So I hope that helps Mysterious Cheese because I learned a ton from him, and I expanded on that with a couple more VLANs that had very specialized needs, and that's all it is. It's segmenting networks according to those devices' roles or capabilities or protection you want to apply to those. Some people say don't go all out and go super wide with go wide with your VLANs at first. And I didn't do that. I was like, I need 4. And then all of a sudden I'm like, wait, these servers are running public workloads. I need to plan for that. And then I had 5. And I was like, wait, now I have these trusted servers that provide core, network tasks or functions like DNS, like, you name it, Homebridge, all this stuff, Home Assistant. I need something for that because I don't want them really on my my trusted network, even though they could. I still want them segmented and on my trusted server network. So anyways, yeah, lots of good information in there, Mysterious Cheese, on It's My Natural Color. Check it out. If not, we can discuss more in Discord too. Neuralinks, no, this is Vital Baiter. Oh yeah, you guys are in a thread. Threads are so weird on Twitch, at least to me, how I see them. It's nice to separate IoT devices, personal stuff, cameras, etc. Yeah, Tomas, you summarized it really well. Thank you. Yeah, there we go. It's My Natural Color. You guys, Sigor, yeah, you guys hear me talk about a lot about it in here because I think it's a fantastic 3-part series. I get the most out of part 3, but watch them all if you want. Hey, Tomas, it's a lot like microservices, separation of concerns. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. You're speaking my language now. A separation of concerns for sure. And, you have different concerns for different devices, and those concerns, you can apply rules to them. And they will then live on that network and abide by those rules. Yeah, I love it. Thank you so much. Silu, I meant that, oh, sorry. I need to get water. Let me see if I can do this real quick. Hey, Vermium Seifeld, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. Silu, I meant that with the interacting with every message in a positive way. Oh yeah, thank you. Sorry, I'm just getting to it. Thank you. Yeah, it's something I try to do. And wow, I'm really behind if I'm just getting to this here now. It's something I try to do, and I decided early on that, you know what, I'm going to respond to tweets. I'm going to respond to YouTube comments. I'm going to respond to stuff on Reddit. I'm going to respond to stuff on Instagram. I'm going to respond to stuff on YouTube. And if I'm doing all of that and asynchronous stuff, I'm going to respond to synchronous stuff, kind of synchronous stuff, but interactive stuff in chat for sure. So yeah, absolutely. Thank you. And I didn't take that a negative way for sure, but thank you. Seagoer, he did a network upgrade with Unify. Me does a really good job explaining everything. Yeah, absolutely. Spread allow. Hi, is there an open source? Oh, you asked that for sure. How can I download? Oh, we already read that. Unless you post it again. Spread allow. Hey, let me know what you're looking for. Mysterious Cheese. So I'm having a hard time with having my switch before my router. Before your router? Oh, I gotta figure that out. So what I'm having a hard time is having my switch before my router. Do you mean like physically? Do you mean like owning it or in your presence? Or do you mean in a network diagram it comes before it? Let me know. Senpai Carter separated the Wi-Fi from my main network so guests can access personal files, IoT devices, another subnet. Yeah, so they can connect to the internet networks from my house. Yeah, absolutely. And I forgot to mention this too. Then I have a guest network that is like the most restrictive besides my cameras, and it applies a lot of the same things too. And on top of that, I have 4 Wi-Fi networks. It's crazy now, but it's awesome. So 4 Wi-Fi networks, all unique names, all unique passwords, all tied to unique VLANs. And so that was another benefit too, is separating that out, is having a true guest network where if someone comes over, yeah, I mean, I trust my friends, absolutely. But if they come over and they're like, hey, can I use your Wi-Fi? Absolutely, here you go. Jump on my guest one, here's the password. And you know what? I didn't give them the password for my main network. And on top of that, they're not able to contact anything on that network, not even other devices that are on there with them. So even if someone were to ever get on there and run some kind of, scan, nothing would respond because the isolation I have set in place. But yeah, it's super awesome. And then on top of that, you could reset your guest Wi-Fi password when people leave too. I'd love to automate that, but yeah. Tomas, isn't React Native dead since Google Flutter? Oh, no way. I would say the exact opposite. I'm hoping that's a troll because that is not true. And if you look at the size and the community behind React Native, it's incredible and it's still growing every day. And I got nothing against Flutter. It's just like I feel like some of the benefits of doing a cross-platform system is being able to apply some of the stuff you already know, possibly, to that cross-platform system. For me, it's React, and so I get to learn, or I get to apply all of my React knowledge that I know from the web, along with all the tooling that I've learned and know, and apply that to a React Native project. Flutter, I'm nothing against it, but I don't want to learn Dart just to learn Flutter, and then have that only apply to Flutter. So that's kind of, it's kind of where I stand. But I mean, no, React Native is growing and growing every day. There's tons of companies who use it. Absolutely. I think that Google creating Flutter proves and supports tools like React Native that help cross-platform be possible. Because up until then, it was kind of like, hey, you can kind of do JavaScript on Cordova. Hey, on Ionic, you can do Angular, but it's still CSS and it's web views. React Native came out where it's real native components. But people were kind of like, native Android people were like, I'm not going to use that. Native iOS people were like, I'm not going to use that. And then Google came out with Flutter and it's like, hey, we're in this together. So I thought it was really awesome. Anyways, yeah. I definitely not dead. Look at their commits. There's tons every day. Neuralinks, you haven't started my repo yet? How am I showing my street code? Yeah, I'll your street cred. Yeah, I'll start. I remember. I will. Sigor, yeah, you might have to swap those around. Might not be too. Really not a network guy. Yeah, I totally agree. I have Google Fiber and I want my internet to come through my switch down to my virtualized pfSense and back up to my same switch before going to my devices. I can't get multiple static IPs, so it's the only way for me to be able to make pfSense redundant. I see what you're doing. Might have a better answer then. I think he's done it before. Oh, me. Like that. So I have, but not with Google Fiber and then putting us. So you're basically going to have, you're basically going to put two pfSense routers from your Google Fiber to then come to a switch. That sounds interesting for sure. But I haven't gone that far. I mean, I've definitely virtualized pfSense, absolutely, and I've had a quad NIC in there for a while. But then I realized I only need a dual NIC, which arguably I could only needed one because I had 4 networks virtualized. But yeah, interesting. Google Authenticator allows backups, absolutely. Oh, they do now, yeah. And that was the reason why I switched off them, because they didn't add a certain period of time, and I was like, yeah, that sucks. Never using that again. Using Authy. But anyways. YubiKey is overpriced, but you actually register 2 keys at the same time and store one of them securely somewhere. Interesting. Tomas, interesting. Good to know. When I looked, it was like $45 for one. I'm like, man, this is way overpriced. I used YubiKey with the LastPass. All right. You guys got some Skrilla. Just teasing. Linux Touch, does someone have experience with MSI 5570 and a Pro Ryzen 5 3600? I don't, yeah, for sure. Neither of them, to be honest. Takano, I was able to score an Intel Math coprocessor. Gonna make it a sweet upgrade. Make Excel way faster. You're killing me, man. Tomas, for 500 budget server, you can buy a Dell PE 710, 720 with 192 gig of RAM for like $300-400. Yeah, that's a good point too. Yeah, if you want rack mounts, the way I went. It's the way I'm still going for a little bit. Yeah, 710 is a fantastic machine. If you're thinking about getting a rack mount and you're debating between 710 and 720, I'd say go 720. Mainly because the PCI Express slots, speeds, for sure. Sigor, spreadsheets are life. Hell, no way. Sigor, the NEA is an accident when trying to log and press an exclamation point in the post. Yeah, I was like total random NEA in there. I'm all for NEA. It's even fun to say, but I was like, why is there an NEA in there? Slide just a bit and accidentally grabs the NEA instead. I see what you mean. Neuralinks, when are you starting your COVID contact tracing Excel spreadsheet team? Oh man, no way. I'm not I don't know. Nothing against Excel. Like the world probably runs on Excel, but it probably shouldn't run on Excel. And so I'm not like I get it. It's easy. It's easy to use. But man, I've seen in my lifetime people use Excel for like databases, and that's where I start to get scared. You know, when it's like becomes your company's database, that's when it's like might need a new tool. Yeah, but yeah, still working on that spreadsheet. Tomas is Hungarian. By the way, I realized how delayed we are in chat. No, I don't think you're delayed. I think I'm getting caught up, if that's what you mean. Yeah, for sure. Because I go through them, for sure. Hi, thanks, and no problem. Scobit, thank you so much. That was in regards to that follow. Tomas, in Hungary, they have tracing mobile apps, which send your GPS coordinates when you are in quarantine and uses AI to recognize your face. Oh, wow. Good old Australia, we use Excel. All right. Yeah, Google and Apple teamed up on their contact tracing application, which then here in the US, states have to then opt into it too. So I was kind of excited for it. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to turn it on, like good citizen. And plus I want to know, like if everyone turns it on, it's all good. But then each state has to then like release their app that actually deals with the data. And our state didn't release one. So I'm like, yeah, that kind of flopped. I don't know. I commend Google and Apple for doing what they did, but I feel like there should have been a little bit more coordination between individual states. And yeah, I get it. States are under a ton of pressure right now, and they probably couldn't build an app as quickly as Apple and Google. They don't have unlimited resources like they do. But at the same time, it's kind of sucked that they even launched it when they only had like 4 states in the list. I was kind of like, yeah, maybe you guys should have waited to launch that, because like you can't like relaunch it and then tell state, you know, you can't be like, oh, by the way, now we have 50% of states who have their app and it's actually compatible with our new tech. Go and use it. You know, I don't know. You only get it, you know, what do they say about first impressions? You only, you know, you can only, whatever that saying is, totally should apply to Apple and Google, and they should have held off on announcing it was done until it was really done, to where states could tap into it. But I'm digressing. Takano, they seem that they weren't the ones posted. It's the Govee LED strips with a 30% off today only. Awesome. I had some Govee ones. Nothing against Govee. Maybe it's the one on Zygot. But the Govee ones I got, they were like, yeah, real 3M tape. And I'm like, anytime I see someone saying real 3M tape, it's probably not real 3M tape. It's just me. It's the skeptic in me. Mainly because like people don't call that out, you know. And it's a brand you trust. I at least do. I trust 3M stuff. When I got my Govee ones and it said real 3M tape, it was not. It was like they found a sheet of the fake 3M wax paper and put it on this nasty goo that then was all over my whole entire TV. And I'm like, this is not 3M tape. This is like some gross, I don't know, glue that was more slimy than sticky. Anyways, probably not Govi's fault, but that's where after that I was kind of like, yeah. Anyways, sorry, I'm going off on a tangent about my one experience with them. Software Rat, hello, hey, how's it going? Brislop, hello, how are you? Rajveer, I'm gonna get this one. Rajveer Singh, bro, you look like Joseph Seed, Far Cry 5. Oh, do I? All right, that's a new one. It's a new one. People usually say Johnny Depp. Like every YouTube video is like Johnny Depp tech. Johnny, so weird. Johnny Depp's talking to me. So that's a new one. I have to look it up. Joseph Seed of Far Cry 5. Like it. I like it. Is he a cool dude? I'll take it. They wouldn't put him in a video game if he wasn't. Linux Ducks. By the way, the COVID tracking app in Germany had the cost the government 20 million euros. In my mind, very overpriced, buggy app. Oh man. Tomas, by the way, what do you guys think of Google Tekton to extend Kate's? We are using it at the place at work. I'm just not sure if it's something worth jumping into for home lab only. I don't know anything about Tekton at all. That's interesting. I'll have to look into it. And I use GCP and GKE, Google Cloud's platform, and Google Kubernetes engine, GKE. That's a mouthful. I don't even know about it. So I should totally look into this too. What's it called? Tekton. T-E-K. I shouldn't write with a yellow pencil because it's so hard to read, but I can't find my real pen. Tekton, I have to look into it. Thank you. Silu, the LED animation is sick. Thank you. Yeah. I put way too much time in that, but it was fun to figure out. Phantom Way, I found you don't need anything over 4 cores, lol. Yeah, I kind of agree, unless you're, I don't know, it just depends. I mean, if you're encoding video or decoding or transcoding, it definitely helps, the more cores, but there are very few things where it's like, yeah, you're gonna need, 8. Takano sitting at 16 gigs and it's on max usage. At least get 32 gigs for sure. Victor's, Vidar CS Brito. Oh, where is he reading from? I feel lost. Hey, don't worry. I'm reading from the list of chat. You joined late. It might be on screen, but it might have got pushed off for sure. Takano, thanks for just clarifying. Neuralinks, microcates is Ubuntu specific only. It's a single node. Yeah, I've seen microcates. I've never done it. I've seen it. There are a lot of Kubernetes distributions too. I'm learning. Almost as many as there are Linux. It's crazy. Neuralinks, K3S can be run on a cluster. Its only downside is you have one master unless you use an external DB. I saw that too. I thought they were fixing that in K3S 1.0, and I think they're at like 1.4 or 5 or something like that. But I need to check it out. Brislop, you can join other nodes too. I saw a join command. Yeah. Neuralinks, I just went through the docs. You can HA with an experimental, embedded at CD. Yeah, I saw that too. Man, you guys are on it. Vermium, Cyfel, how are you, my friend? Hey, I'm good. Doing real good today, for sure. Spaceys, even shucked a hard disk. Just now, just shucked a Western Digital 5 terabyte, and guess what? Western Digital Red, so much cheaper, save me 30%. Man, they should just sell them cheaper, because I'm like, people are shucking stuff, and it's like, man, so much waste. It's like, why don't these companies just sell them for the price that they're selling them for within these enclosures? But I get it, because the enclosures go on fire sale just because they want to get rid of them, and then you get this awesome drive inside. The waste kills me. Not by you guys, by these companies. Vermium Seifeld, do you have a Raspberry Pi 4? I don't. I have a Pi 0, I have a Pi 2, and I have a Pi 3B. No 4s yet. Talias, following the question on K3S and RKE, since K3S can't support HA. Would you prefer to spec up the nodes, 3 8 CPU, 16 gigs, and run a control plane and work on all nodes, or 2 master, 4 worker? Wow, this is a good question. I think this is a good question. It depends on, it just depends on how many nodes you want to run, right? I think for my next build, I might go, I haven't totally decided yet. I don't even know if I'm going to go with 2 masters. We'll see. I don't know the answer to that question yet because I haven't fully spec'd out my next build. I would say if you have enough CPUs, go with a higher CPU count. The only the only reason why I would say to go with, you know, lower specs on the worker nodes is if you just don't have, I guess, a lot of cores. You probably do if you're running a server. You know, the only other thing I worry about is just managing those nodes too, you know, and the extra disk space they're going to use, because you're only talking about CPUs and RAM right now, but you know, they're all going to take some amount of disk space. And with those, as you guys know, you're going to have a lot of Docker containers that are left over, and sure, Kubernetes is going to do a lot of garbage collection at some point to clear those out. But you don't know. And then sometimes I think there's a flag that's set that says to keep the last 5 just in case it has to roll back. And so that's extra disk space too. And so the only reason why I sometimes lean towards less nodes is because of all that, because of disk space too. But I have something in place now to where I have a lot more disk space. So I don't know the answer to that question. You know, I will have an answer here soon, just because I haven't fully built out my next environment. Included null, aren't 5 terabyte reds shingled? I don't know what that means. Neuralinks, sorry. Always run odd numbers of masters. You don't want split brain situation. There you go. Yeah, for sure. That's true. Because you can't have quorum, right? If you have 2, you have split brain because they're like, I'm the master. No, I am. No, I am. You need quorum. Included null, almost certainly shingled then. Be very careful if you hardware rate it. Okay. Neuralinks, careful. Some WD red on SMR is on SMR, and that watching hole debacle is going down crazy. Tomas, not a fan of these WD disks. Also had many issues under 6 terabyte devices with SMR, CMR. Much prefer Seagate Exios. Is that how you pronounce it? Exios. Enterprise drives. And KLOM, do you handle K3ES maintenance? Are nodes joining cluster now after reboot? I was surprised that K3D, I could do a cron to reboot the node, a boot. Do a cron to reboot the node, a boot, but do you have some tips and advices? Also, how can I back up K3S configuration in case of failures and reboot the K3S cluster? All great questions. I'll have some more on that soon. I haven't spun up my K3S yet. I'm still on the fence about RKE versus K3S. But I absolutely will have something for you soon. I don't have a recommendation right now. I'm still working on it for sure. I will have something soon, but that's a great question, MKLOM. And if you want to talk about that some more, absolutely, that's a great question for our Discord too, because we could kind of expand on it and bounce some ideas off each other too. Spacey is good to know. Also, Shuck the Seagate portable 2.5 inch 5 terabyte uses less power, like more than half of it than 3.5 disks. Nice. Neuralinks, could you clarify on nodes joining the cluster now after reboot? Once they're in the cluster, they always come back even after reboot. Yeah, agreed. Vermium. Oh yeah. Tomas. Oh my gosh, these are threaded. Threaded ones are killing me. It's totally keep threading, but Twitch needs to work on how they present itself. Neuralinks, yeah, I only started K3S 6 months back, and it's been pretty stable. All these Kates, K3S, K3D, it's hurting my head. They need a more unique project name. Yeah, I agree. Embrew345, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. I totally agree. And they were being cutesy when they named K3S because they were like, yeah, it's half the resources of K3S or of Kates. And, Kates is K8S is the way to shorten Kubernetes, 8 plus 2 is 10. And they were like, okay, well, we're half the resources of Kates. And so we'll be K3S because KS is 2 plus 3 is 5. So anyways, yeah, they got cutesy on it. But yeah, I totally agree. And that's only a couple of Kubernetes distributions. There are so many. Like I didn't realize it until I started looking. I'm like, oh my gosh, how does anyone keep all this straight? Yeah, and what do they all offer, and how are they different? You could just say the same thing about Linux, but at least that's a little bit easier to say. Like, hey, you could point to these things that are different. I think each Kubernetes distribution, I don't know why they're what the differentiator is for them. I mean, with K3s, some of these ones that I recognize, definitely I know the differences, but there are some I'm just like, okay, they're just doing it to do it. Techno MSI has been sketchy. All their 3,000 device cards are completely out of stock, but the one of their subsidiaries were caught selling cards at very high prices, 1K plus. Oh my gosh, that is not good. P. Diddy, how's it going? Finally got my DS4246, nice. But now I need to get another CPU for my R730XD so I can actually use it. Nice, man. Nice, that thing is a beast, isn't it? I have that same disk shelf. It is beast, but it's pretty awesome. Hey, Colin Lords. Hey, thanks for the follow, appreciate it. Yeah, how do you like it, P. Diddy? Neuralinks, we have a couple more numbers in between K4S, K5S. Oh my gosh, yeah, please don't. I'm only focusing on full gates and K3S, and after that, it's kind of like, well, yeah, maybe splitting hairs or trying to be different. Included null, from what I have seen in the UK at least, the MSI 30 series cards have been the most in stock across the partner models. They have been sending the most cards at retailers at least. Nice. Yeah, I need me some of that. Yes, correct, Neuralinks. That's why I like K3S. More easy to maintain from my experience. Hey, P. Diddy, dude. Oh my gosh, P. Diddy. Man, thank you so much. P. Diddy gifted 5 tier 1 subs. Dude, thank you so much, man. So BG Tackles IT, Nolio, Dark Vex, Linux Tux, included null. A lot of nulls in there. Enjoy your gifted sub from P. Diddy. Dude, thank you so much. Oh man, dude, thank you so much. That's awesome. Really appreciate it so much. Wow, hope you're doing well. Hopefully that disk shelf is working out for you. Hopefully I made an okay recommendation with it. Hopefully you fill it with lots of disks and build out your disk array. Wondering if that disk array is going to be TrueNAS. But yeah, hopefully so. But man, appreciate it so much. Thank you. Oh, where were we? Threw me off. Sorry. But thank you. Included null, I managed to buy a 3090 Ventus for a friend, and have seen their other cards come in stock quite often. Man, people are copping these 3090s, man. I'm like, am I making a bad decision or a wrong decision? I thought the 3090, I thought it was, yeah, that people would choose the 3080, but man, you are prepared for a while. Neuralink what sort of configuration don't you define all your deployments in YAML? Just put it in a Git repo and forget about it. Tucano, it was a big thing a couple days ago. I'll have to find some videos on it. Yeah, they were basically scraping their cards. They called it an accident, but people saying that it couldn't be an accident since they tracked their stock. Yeah. Tikafu, hey, how's it going? Well, the German COVID app costs far more than 20 million euros. 20 are only the development costs, yeah. Included null, yeah, I saw the news. One of their subsidiaries selling them way over MSRP. LOL, got caught red-handed. Oh man, not good, not good. Basically said, oops, sorry, we didn't know. Oh man. MKLong, what did you mean to find? Yes, you're right. I want to rebuild a K3S cluster. Need to rerun all the deployment channels, but there are some configuration files with some secrets and other stuff that could be stored more securely. Yeah. Good points. Franca, oh man, a lot of A's in there. Franca Maraf. And that's not how you pronounce. If that's not how you pronounce it, let me know. Thanks for the follow, appreciate it. Welcome. Tikafu, I heard about 50-60 million, or Brislop, 50-60 million euros for maintenance and hosting. Oh my goodness, so much money going down. Vermium's Seifel, I have the Raspberry Pi 1, first one, 1, 2, 3, but I wish myself a Pi 4, 8 gig 2 to replace my servers because of power costs. I hear you. And I'm saying that right now is building new servers on, well, while one's sitting right there. I hear you on power costs. This is my first pass at getting enough getting a little bit less power. Hey, thanks for changing the lights. Appreciate it. Thanks for earning those points and for redeeming them. So thank you. But I hear you, Birmingham Seifel. I need to reduce power for sure. And I'm building two not little, but two workhorses that are hopefully going to take down or shut down two other big beefy servers for those. But I think about this all the time is like, man, I think my next wave is, if at all possible, if ARM ever comes in an okay package where I can use it. I mean, Pi 4s obviously, but I need a little more power than what a Pi 4 offers. I just hope ARM, in the next couple of years, comes out with some platform where I can build a server on it. For sure. And I know Turing exists, the Turing platform where I can, plug in more and more modules. And maybe that's somewhere, something I can explore in the future, but I think about the same thing. So I'm right there with you, Birmingham Seifel. See here, Tomas, some people buy the Pi compute modules with a custom board in host 7 and to actually practice bare metal deployments. Yeah, like the Turing, what I was just talking about. Yeah, for sure. Let me see here. MKLOM, I see. Thanks for the advice. Yes, a self-hosted Git repo could be a solution. Yeah, man, you guys are in this thread. Love it. Neuralinks, other things as well. The other things as well, if you run your own password manager, such as Pass, is just dump it there and pull the secret down. If you also use something like Ansible to manage your cluster. I totally agree. Hey, MKLOM, sorry for my English. Never apologize for your English because your English is fantastic. Never apologize for it. Especially, one, you don't have to apologize for the way you speak. Two, it's probably not your first language. And so you even understanding how to speak some English is fantastic. So you never need to apologize for it. I'll do my best at trying to read it. I also speak Japanese, and my grandmother has spoken broken, kind of like what I'm doing now. My grandmother's spoken broken English and part Japanese to me my entire life. So I'm more than capable at trying to understand what people are talking about. So don't ever worry about not being able to speak perfect English, because it's the message that counts, not the words. So don't worry about it. Birmingham Seifel, Tomas. Depends on which memory variant you go with. The CM3 only had 1 gig, around maybe $30 US, but the CM4 can be spec'd up to 8 gigs. Nice. Included null, and the pros, and which are CMR 7200. Oh, you guys are still going on these disks. I love it. I find that you can get an Ironwolf or an Exos, which are both CMR and 7200 RPM for much cheaper than the normal red. Yeah, I ended up going with Ironwolf. I don't know if it was a good choice. Let me know if I made a good choice. Takano, I went with the WD Red Plus for my servers, 2x4 terabyte drives, and I think it was a 200 total since I got them on sale. Yeah, you got them during Prime Day, or at least around that time. Birmingham Seifel, but how much would a board for around 8 Pis cost? Yeah, I totally agree, because now you're buying not only the board, now you're buying these 8 Pi modules too. And then you kind of treat those like individual VMs too, which is interesting to think about, but all on one board. But yeah. Neuralinks, or was I thinking Ansible can pull the secrets from keypath file too? I'm not sure. Let's get caught up here. Tomas, Techno Tim, if we use names without the tags, is it easier to read? No. It's keep doing what you're doing. Absolutely, because chat is for you. So if I struggle to figure out the way that Twitch does threaded messages, that's my fault and it's Twitch's fault. Don't worry. Just keep chatting. Absolutely. Have conversations the way you want to have conversations. I think you jumped ahead in chat probably because you were open a thread. Hard to tell. Just because of the way it's presented to me. MKLOM, pass a file with encrypted vars. I do that too, but it would be awesome to have Ansible module pull the secrets from KeyPass file direct. I see what you mean. Yeah, it would be, because because your Kubernetes secrets, then you need to put them somewhere, and it would be cool to pull from a KeyPass file for sure. P. Diddy, yeah, thanks again, man. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Whoa. Lots of, I'm getting caught up. That's the board to host 7 CM3s. Could I get one subscription? Convince me how. Oh, Frank Maraf. Hi guys. Birmingham, Seifel, by lifting a message. Let me see here. Oh, here we go. It's like Fran Camera PH. It's a Spanish name. Okay. It's like Fran Camera PH. Fran Camera PH. Gotcha. Fran Camera PH. Thank you so much. And PH, because I'm a photographer. Nice. What do you use to shoot with? What do you take photos of? I used to love taking pictures. I don't take them enough anymore. Yeah, let me know. Birmingham, Seifel, Techno Tim, I think about running around 20 Raspberry Pis, 4 8 gigs sometimes, and using them together in Kubernetes cluster, but I'm not there yet. Yeah, I think about those. I think about very similar things. I was just saying the other day, man, I need to start creating ARM-based or compiling my code and my Docker containers in different architectures now to prepare for all this ARM stuff. I'm getting super excited about it, for sure. There are some things I still need to run x86 though, which is going to keep me on, this power-hungry some CPUs. But it would be nice if I could just say, hey, here's all the x86 stuff I need to run on one server, and then just have the rest be ARM. Because a lot of the stuff I write is custom code, and it's usually Node or JavaScript, and Node runs in a Docker container, and I can compile that container for any processor architecture I want, and I could just flip a flag and say now it's ARM and run it on there. Sounds interesting. But there are some workloads I run that need Windows or need Windows. I have 2 workloads that need Windows, so that kind of keeps me on x86 for a little while, for a foreseeable future. But it sounds like an interesting future is coming for sure. Senpai Carter, ARM servers are getting there, and it's very exciting. Yes, exactly what I was just talking about. It's absolutely getting exciting. I'm getting a little overwhelmed thinking about it, but I think I just need to take it all in, because I'm like I said, building new servers, and now it's like, wow, is ARM going to start being more available other than just buying devices? You know what I mean? You'll probably buy a system on a chip type board. But right now they all come wrapped in this consumer friendly package, except for Raspberry Pi. It's like, whatever, name your device has ARM in it, and it comes in that package. But we want something more customizable, like a Pi, but maybe something a little more beefy, like a desktop class Pi. Give me that motherboard. Sounds interesting for sure. And a lot to learn for sure. Very interested. You can even run ESXI on a Pi 4, Linux Tux. Absolutely. Yeah, I saw that a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, it sounds super interesting. Sounds interesting for sure. And it's cool that VMware did that too. Neuralinks. Do you have to run a 20 hex RPI4? That's $20 by $75. Yeah, that's where it gets kind of expensive too, for sure. I don't need to, but it would be awesome. I hear you. It's why do we run a lot of the server stuff too? What's the price? Can I get 3x secondhand x64 servers? Maybe. I don't know. I won't say I'm going to be decommissioning a couple of things, but I might be decommissioning a couple of things. I think, but they'll be there and off. I want to try a couple of different things with my new. It's not really V2 infrastructure or architecture. It'd be like V300. But I feel like this is a V2 for me, at least in my rack, where I'm going to be trying a couple different things. I think it will be successful if I can shut 2 of my other servers off. If I can power them off and everything in my house is still running and everything outside the house is still running, it's a success. So we'll see. Spacies, Japanese. Wow, studying that for 5 years as well. Nice. Like the culture, language, and of course the anime stuff. Yeah. I studied it for a while too. And yeah, my grandmother's Japanese. My dad and uncle are half Japanese, born in Japan, came to the United States when they were kids. Yeah. So I guess I'm a quarter. But yeah, for sure. Frank Camera PH just took a look at your YouTube channel. Lots of great information. Already subscribed. Hey, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yeah, you have to let me know what camera you're using. Maybe did. I'm getting caught up. Vermium Seifel. Yes, but the power cost is high where we live in an apartment with 3 rooms. Has a power cost of $700 US. No, thank you. That's a lot. That's a lot for sure. Yeah, no, thank you. Neuralinks, you can shut the nodes down. You don't have to keep them all running at once. Yeah, and think of the cost you save in heating. That is true. I felt like since my latest build, I haven't had to heat the basement as much. And in the summer, it's a little warmer than it needs to be. So I would love to figure that out. And just be a good citizen, use less power. Tomas, Neuralinks, before you buy a server, ask yourself the question, what do you want to achieve / sacrifice? Older system, higher power consumption, less expandability. Newer system, costs more, consumes less, and depends on what you want to use it for. Absolutely, yeah, so some requirements, yeah, absolutely. Some requirements and some guidelines, yeah, are definitely help. And I do like that you included not only requirements, but what you're willing to sacrifice too, because that's the thing I think a lot of people forget about. I forget about it myself too. I'm like, I'm building this next thing. I wanted to do everything and then never think about some of the things I want to sacrifice until I built this one. And this came with a lot of sacrifices. I mean, you guys know I did it on stream. I've been planning out building 1U servers for a while now. And with 1U servers, you have to sacrifice a lot. I wouldn't say a lot, but there are, more sacrifices than I think I've been comfortable with in the past. So, but yeah, it's a great call out too, especially for the sacrifice part. Frank Camera. I have a Canon T6i. Nice. My favorite kind of photography is architecture and landscapes. But right now I use it mostly my camera as a webcam. Haha, I hear you. I hear you. Well, I have a Sony mirrorless right here. I think I've taken probably 10 photos with it. The rest is everything else you see on social media and YouTube and even here. So I have a mirrorless, but that's awesome. Yeah, that's really awesome. I love, I used to love taking photos, and I love what we're able to do now with cameras too. I mean, just being able to use, either a mirrorless or a DSLR camera as a webcam has just been fantastic. Because now I didn't have to choose between, am I gonna buy a webcam and then buy something I shoot video with, and then buy something, that I take photos with. I get them all in one. It's fantastic. Live, video, and still photography all in one. It's so awesome. So yeah, I'd love to see some of your photos sometime. Vermium Seifel, you can also run ESXI on a Pi 4. Yeah, absolutely. Vermium Seifel, I wait on the Proxmox version if there will ever be one. Yeah, you'll probably be waiting a while. But I don't, yeah, I heard XCPNG was too. Maybe I'm spreading rumors, but I thought when someone mentioned that about ESXI, that XCPNG was like, oh yeah, me too. They're doing it too. Maybe. That's interesting. But I think that if the market continues to go that way, the people who want to play in spaces they're playing now will be forced to do that too, or get left behind. So, I mean, the market will determine, the community will determine, the people, the consumers will determine, if something like that is going to stick around. And so, if everyone goes ARM and something like Proxmox or Name Your Platform doesn't, they'll just get left behind. Because, tech evolves and companies like that need to evolve as well. It's tough. Vermium Seifel, no. MKLOM, what do you think about Podman from Red Hat? And DockerHub will soon charge for pulling an image. Yeah, MKLOM, yeah, good question. I got that email from DockerHub too about rate limiting for public stuff and using tokens. And I'll say this. I understand. Okay, first I'll say this. Kind of sucks, that DockerHub is now applying rate limiting to their polls. But I will also say this. I don't see how they've been surviving as a company without doing this. if you think about every CI system that's out there running right now, pulling images directly from DockerHub, who basically created this whole giant ecosystem with probably millions or billions of containers, trillions of gigabytes, petabytes, I don't even know, of data, and then all of that data flying over the wire for every single CI system, or anytime anyone does a Docker pull or Docker push. That's incredible. And so I'm not mad at DockerHub for enforcing some rate limiting and then making some people pay, because that stuff costs money. And they might end up being, they've kind of run the risk of being turned into a commodity where they're just providing a service, and where Swarm, while it is a good product, I think a lot of companies and a lot of technologies have settled on Kubernetes, so they're not using Swarm, may or may not be, but the larger ecosystem has chosen Kubernetes, and that's that uses Docker, and it basically commoditizes Docker and swapping out and pulling all of these containers. So I don't fault Docker as a company for doing that, because you gotta make money, and I don't even want to think about how much money they're paying in just for all kinds of people pulling images from them, basically using them as a repository for stuff, because that costs a lot of money. And Docker images, while most are small, some can be really big. Gigantic. And on top of that, even kind of by nature, Docker images are a little bit bigger because you package in your dependencies. Obviously not as big as a full-blown one. But I just, I don't blame DockerHub. And, will it affect me personally? Probably not. And here's why. Because I do my CI within GitLab or GitHub. And to me, and maybe not. So I use private registries within some of those systems, and it's probably going to be up to them to mitigate that somehow, which some do. Some will cache, I'm sure, a lot of popular Docker images at some layer, so they're not making those polls against it for popular Docker images, like I said. But for the most part, it won't affect me directly because of the CI systems I use, or fronting that bill. I don't know if that's the right term to use, but it's abstracted for me, at least one layer. So, but yeah, it's tough. And for all of my stuff, so I won't say all of my stuff. A lot of my stuff I use private registries through GitLab. My other stuff that's open source is public through DockerHub. So I don't know. I struggle with that one too. I feel like some of that stuff should have been in place in the beginning, but that might have affected their growth. But probably not. But anyways, I don't fault them for doing it. I imagine if you were running a service, you're running a service at home in the cloud. I'll say in the cloud. You're running a service in the cloud. All of a sudden you have 20 billion people downloading a 1 megabyte file from you. And this is probably not exaggerating, the size that's flying across the wire. And you have to pay for all that bandwidth. And then you got to pay for all the storage too when they're uploading. And you're like, how are we going to pay for this? So anyways, and it kind of puts the onus on the individual companies that are using Docker to start to rethink about how they do some stuff. And if they want to go with private registries and host it themselves, they absolutely can. So it's kind of, it's helping people be good citizens. And maybe I'm putting too much trust into Docker. But at the same time, if I ran that, I'd be scared. Because man, it just seems like you're just bleeding money on infrastructure alone. But it's most of it's all for a good cause. Anyways, sorry. That question is a great question, because I just saw the email last week and I'm thinking, how does this affect me? Does it affect me? And for the most part, it won't. But it did seem odd, though. Anyways, and they had to re-clarify it too, and I think they had to extend some of it, so it's interesting. Tomas, by the way, AMD EPYC Embedded was an insanely good value for the money. Would be nice to do to have like the Xeon D platform for cheap, low TDP around 40. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Frank, the lights just went off and I was going to type on the PC. That's South America. I'm sorry. My question was, what do you think I can build a NAS server with some old spare parts I have laying around, like an i3, 16 gigs of RAM, and some USB 3.0, 1 terabyte. Oh, huh. So you have a lot of options. You do. I mean, the USB part so the USB part kind of throws a wrench in some of your options, Frank. But there are things out there, so I'm just going to rattle off some network attached storage solutions, that might work. I only have experience in a couple. I mean, there are things like TrueNAS, but with the USB only drives, I don't think that's going to work out too well for you. There's like Open Media Vault, which may work a little bit better because I don't think they use ZFS, but you might have to correct me on that. I mean, and there's some stuff even as simple as just plain old Linux, especially if you're going to be using some USB 3.0 1 terabyte drives. You could do it pretty easily in Linux and set up either NFS shares or Samba shares, depending on your clients, and set them up that way. Otherwise, if you didn't only have USB as storage, I would definitely say, give TrueNAS a shot because it's pretty solid. And it gives you some more capabilities then too. It's like a NAS plus, where you might be able to do some lightweight virtualization. You might be able to set up some Docker or some jails that way with their plugins. But yeah, the USB 3 drives are going to be tough because they need to be directly attached, and that interface is a little bit different than if they were physically attached. Let's see here. Supported. Yeah, thank you. Have a Panasonic S1 mirrorless. Yeah, and it's getting 6K raw recording. Super excited. Nice. Yeah, Vermium Seifel. It's what I was saying. Zen ESXI PNG is also on the way. NCIS currently resetting up Rancher Kubernetes with a fresh install. Nice. Figured I might as well, instead of trying to figure out Rancher ports retroactively. Yeah, sometimes that's a little bit easier. Sometimes that's easier. By the way, how long are you going to stream today? That's a great question. Not much longer, to be honest, and I should have been done probably 15 minutes ago. Let me plow through these real quick, and if you got more to say, absolutely you can, but I'm going to plow through these because you guys typed them. That's a great question because I am super late. Wife's she's not going to kill me, but she's going to be like, I thought you said, eh. Anyway. Included note, my home lab would be bigger if I had more than 50 megabit upload. I'm sending a Dell R240 for co-location to host my sites. Game servers would place in when you rented. I have nice. Birmingham Seifel. I'm a kid at 14 years. Whoa, you're pretty intelligent for 14. And my servers did run at 300 per year. That was 2 8 gigs RAM with 8 core Xeon processors. Man, you were doing big things for 14. Absolutely. Keep on, Birmingham Seifel. That is pretty awesome. Awesome for you. At 14, I was playing a lot of video games, only semi-interested in PCs and servers. So yeah, keep on, man. Tomas, that's exactly the reason why with private Docker registry is a good idea. Yeah. Maybe not just for your own images, but maybe once a week, grab the latest images from the web and keep it internal. Yeah, great suggestion. Frank, the electricity came back. Hopefully I didn't answer my question. Otherwise, I will watch the VOD. I did answer your question. I did have a couple of recommendations. You might have to watch the VOD, only because I'm running out of time, but I want to get through these. AK Lam, I agree with you on DockerHub Rate Limiting, but there will be some consequences on companies. Hey, dude, B Diddy, dude, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, 5 more subs. Lights are going crazy. Dude, P Diddy, thank you so much. Talias, Shady BTV, Brislop, Merganth, FN, and Dr. Control, Dr. CTL. Hey, appreciate your gifted sub for P Diddy. Dude, thank you so much, man. You are so generous. Dude, thank you so much. Oh man, so crazy. Yeah, dude, thank you. But you were saying, MKLOM, totally building your own images from scratch. Totally agree with you. Okay, I see what you. Yeah. They might have to host it themselves, you know, because it's like, man, DockerHub can't host it for people who, you know, might be overusing, and they get to determine rate limiting, right? It's their API, so they're saying, whatever, however many polls, 100 polls a day or whatever, that's the rate limit. I'm making this up, but that's the thing you get to decide as a service provider. Tomas, I would rather keep my source codes internally. Just gives me an extra peace of mind. Nice. MKLime, also for the most of Docker image, DockerHub is not to be trusted. Yeah. Phantom Way, how's it going? I like that emoji. Tomas, but there's Xpanology, a modded bootloader, which allows you to run Somalit. Yeah, I always forget about that one. P. Diddy, you may want to see if you can chuck those drives. If not on RAID, I think the USB drives with unassigned drive plugs. Birmingham Seifeld, do I have any kids? No. On question. Frank Marath. Yeah, it would be more like an experiment because mostly I'm not able to buy the parts and have them laying around. Thank you guys for the information. MK Lam, for your answers and all your videos, so cool of all your work. As a DevOps, I can chill out this weekend and do some new Edge stuff. Nice, yeah, sounds awesome. Yeah, you can do some Edge stuff now with the video I just released. Yeah, dude, oh my gosh. P. Diddy, dude, thank you so much. Gifted sub to Vermium Seifeld. Dude, thank you so much. 16 gifted subs to the channel. Dude, P. Diddy, thank you so much, man. Hope you're enjoying your disk shelf too. Man, thank you so much. Vermium Seifeld, enjoy that. Alan Molson, hi Tim, love your YouTube content. I'm looking for a small server for a few VMs as well as a home lab for VMware study. Half depth, 1U factor, under 1K would be ideal. Any suggestions on hardware? Alan, you were speaking right up my alley. I got something coming because I've been kind of doing the same thing. The 1K is a tough one for a 1U, but I'll have something soon. The 1U is tough. I'm gonna say this: the 1U is tough unless you buy something that's mostly built. And then you'll have a lot of decisions you'll have to make and a lot of trade-offs and a lot of sacrifices like we talked about earlier, going with the smaller form factor. But I will have something soon. I don't have something right now only because I need to test it out, make sure it works, and I don't want to make any kind of recommendation if it's not really a good recommendation. Alan Molson, hey, thank you so much for the sub. Dude, thank you so much. Tier 1, thank you so much. NCIS Legend, quick question, MySQL server or MySQL for Docker image? Whoa, there's a lot going on in there. Which MySQL image to use for a Docker image? So it's MySQL server or MySQL for a Docker image. I forget which one I use. I'll have to look. NCIS Legend, ping me in Discord in the database channel, and I would love to follow up on that, or not in the database channel or in the Docker one of them, and I will follow up for sure. Vermian Seifeld, thanks. When I was 3 years old, I was disassembling an electric mixer at night and putting a potato stick into the oven house to power shut it off. Man, you were off to a strong start with tech being so young. P. Diddy, Tim, yeah, thank you. Have a good night, Tim. P. Diddy, dude, thank you so much for all the gifted subs. Absolutely, man. You don't have to do it, but I greatly appreciate it. Vermian Seifeld, by the way, why does Docker not like folding at home? So I get it. It's like a torrent network like Cedars and Leecher. That would be super smart. Folding at home runs on Docker. I think so. I'll have to check. I think it does. It should be fine. It should be fine. You might want to check it out. I think it does. Last I checked. NCS Legend sounds good, thanks. Included null, I have an R240. You can also look at older R210 too, which is even shorter and much older. The R210 is a home lab favorite. Good call, thank you. That is so, yeah, awesome. Because we were just talking about the different 1U servers. Thank you so much, that is a great point, because I was thinking in my head, build new. R210 is definitely a favorite in the 1U landscape. Rothenbo, I'm trying to pass through 4 hard drives and TrueNAS and running a Proxmox and managed to pass through the 4 hard drives, but FreeNAS crashes when I try to add them to a pool. Any suggestions will be helpful. Man, that's a tough one. Because you know, did you pass them through directly? Yeah, and I hate to just cut you off, but I got to kind of wrap it up because I'm super late for something. Man, so much, yeah, so much fun. Man, so much going on today. I love it. Raffinbo, if you want to follow up in Discord, we have a channel on storage. I'd love to follow up and figure out what's going on. We also have a channel on Proxmox too, where we talk about those types of things. And so speaking of Discord, we also have a Discord server. Many of you are in it, but for those that aren't, I just wanted to throw it out there. We have a community full of a lot of people that are in here, a lot of people that are either not in this channel or just are genuinely interested in tech. It's a community full of, it's a full stack community, pretty much from the ground up, all of tech, everything you're interested in, from home labs to code, to networking, to databases, to storage, you name it. So I'd love for you to join. If you don't know how to get there, you can actually do !Discord. It's right there, and you can join. I will do my best to follow up to people. I got a couple things I got to do tonight, but I will do my best to follow up to people. And plus, there's a lot of people in there who are a lot smarter than me, who know a lot more than me about a lot of these things too, because I just dabble in a lot. So it's hard for me to go deep on a lot of things. And plus, everyone has their own unique experience too, which adds another dimension to all this. I would just want to say, dude, thank you guys so much, absolutely, for being here, for chatting, for questions, for comments, for all of your collected intellect and conversation. I really do appreciate it. You know, thank you so much. There were subs in there, lots of follows, and you know, most of all, yeah. I absolutely appreciate those. All of that goes back into making the channel better. You know, what I don't donate goes back into making the channel better, so absolutely gets reinvested. So I do appreciate it so much. And but at the same time, you know, I always say that time is the most precious thing we have. So absolutely, thank you so much for spending time in the channel. I will get caught up on stuff. And yeah, ping me in Discord if you need anything, or on Twitter or whatever. I'll be mostly disconnected tonight. Saturday's my kind of tune out night, and then back on it tomorrow. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Have a great night. And yeah, as always, be good to each other. Oh, wait a second. I forgot to do something. Hopefully everyone didn't jump off. I forgot to do something. There's something I forgot to do, and that I think would be cool. Hopefully you're still here. If you're still here, thank you. Join me as we do something. I gotta check real quick, because now obviously Chrome is not wanting to... Chrome's not wanting to appreciate. Hopefully you guys are still here. I want to do something. I want to raid someone really quick. And I don't know. Oh man, you're killing me. Come on. I wanted to raid someone. And are we going? Are we going? Oh man, he's AFK right now. So I don't know if you guys know the PC Geek. He also streams. He contributes a ton to our community. And he said he was doing something today for charity, for Extra Life, and he was streaming on Twitch. And I thought, like, hey, you guys, a lot of you guys know him, and I thought it'd be just a great gesture to pass off everyone that's here to him. Right now, he's on a BRB screen, so let me pull this up. So I absolutely do want to raid him, but at the same time, I kind of want him to be there for it. So... How long do we wait? I don't want to tell him either. You know, I don't want to tell him and just say, hey, dude, where are you? You know? Hey, man, where are you? But, dude, where are you? Seems like schedule is to be announced. Come on, the PC Geek. How do we get him? Okay. Command donate works? Okay. Oh, his command's not working. Come on, buddy. I do want to raid him, but I do want him to be there. Well, how do I get him back to his PC without telling him that I want to raid him? Oh man, PC Geek, come on, buddy. I do want to. I almost want to message him, but I don't want to message him. It's such a dilemma. Such a dilemma. I think I should. I want to do it either way. I mean, I don't want him to just, you know, what I'm trying to say is I definitely want him to be here. But at the same time, it's not all about just, you know, him knowing that I rated him. At the same time, I think it would probably, I don't know, give him a little boost. I don't know how long he's streaming for today. Oh man, PC Geek, come on, buddy. How do we message him directly? I'm gonna message him. The PC Geek. Oh, it's right over here. The PC Geek. Come on, man. Got it. You there? I'll be super nonchalant about it. Oh man, PC Geek, I tried, buddy. I do have to go here soon too. Well, you know what? We're gonna rate him. If he's still live, but he's not. He might be back. We're gonna rate him. So I'm gonna rate him. Yeah. So, anyways, PC Geek, we're rating you. Let him know that we were there. Maybe he'll see the chat when we get back. But here you go, PC Geek. Dude, thank you so much for all you do. Maybe you see the VOD. And I hope your stream goes well. And I hope it's everything you wanted. Raid. Let's go. Raid. I'm so old school. I still use the commands. The PC Geek. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Yeah, the PC Geek. Give him some love. We're gonna rate him. The PC Geek. It's going over in a couple of minutes. Dude, enjoy.